Okay, so let's dive into Edgar's training so we can stay consistent at home. Let's start off by going over his commands. So we'll start in the heel position. Heel means walk next to me on a loose leash. Whenever Edgar's doing a good job, you want to reinforce the behavior with treats, praise, or petting. So heel means walk next to me on a loose leash. If Edgar decides to walk ahead or try and pull ahead, we're going to use his training equipment to follow through and stay consistent. So we have his prong collar, which you're going to use and attach the leash to whenever you take Edgar on walks. The leash is going to attach to the D-ring, the one with the flat side. Whenever you have him on the leash, there should not be a triangle in the collar. It should be nice and relaxed, and you only use this as needed whenever Edgar isn't following the command. So, for example, you're on a walk, he's in the heel position. If he starts to walk too fast or start to try and pull you, you're going to say no and give a gentle and quick pop of the leash, and then you're going to follow through with the command and remind him to heel, because heel is the command to walk next to us. So no, heel. We're also going to use his remote collar to follow through with these commands. So let's turn on his collar. The remote has an on-off button in the back. We're going to push and hold that to turn the collar on, or turn the remote on. And then to turn the collar on, we have a red dot here. There is a matching red dot on the collar. We're going to touch those two together because it's a magnetic key. So we'll touch them together and you'll see a green light, and that means the collar is on, charged, and ready to go. So if my hand is Edgar and we're going on a walk, good heel, he's doing great. All of a sudden he gets a little distracted by something and he wants to walk ahead of me. I'm going to say no, push the black S button, and then remind him heel. So no, heel. And that's going to tell him that he made a little mistake. We're going to correct that, and then we follow through and tell him what he can do right to avoid that correction in the future, which is walk next to us on a loose leash in the heel position. So we're going to reward the behaviors we want to see to continue to see those behaviors, and then we use the training equipment to correct the behaviors we don't want to see to decrease the rate of those behaviors. So let's move on to sit. Sit means stay until he is told free or heel, because one command can break another. So for example, door manners, you have him sit at the door. You can open the door. If you want to step through the threshold first, remind him sit, because you're telling him to stay there. If you were to just walk through, he's likely going to follow you because of your body language. He's going to think you want him to heel. So have him sit, remind him sit, and then when you're ready for him to get up, tell him free. If he gets up before you tell him free, follow through with the collars. No, correction, sit. If he does a good job, you can use praise, treats, or petting. You don't have to reward with treats every single time, but in the beginning it is important to build a reward history with him listening to the commands with you at home, but we'll talk about that more here in a second. Then we have down stay. Down means lay down on the ground and stay where he's at. So you don't have to say the word stay, but when you want him to stay in the down position, just repeat the word down. So you put him in the down. If he doesn't go, you can tell him no, give a little tug of the leash down, and follow through with the remote collar. And tell him down when you want him to stay, and you're going to walk around and leave him. And if a distraction walks by, remind him down so he understands to stay in the position even when things are going on around him. We don't free him from a distance with this command. We always go back to him and tell him he did a good job, good down, and then we tell him free to release him from the command, so he understands he has to stay and wait until you give him the release word free. That's the same thing with place. So with place, it's just a boundary stay on a bed. So like when guests come over, you're going to put him on place. That way he doesn't bombard them while they're trying to take their shoes off. You put him on place, good boy. Whenever you reward with place and down, you're actually going to put the treat on the bed for place, and for down you're going to put the treat in between his paws. That way he gets rewarded for being in that position and he doesn't try and follow the treat and come up to get it. So for place, reward on the bed, good place, praise, treats, and then as you're doing your distraction, walking around, remind him place with the verbal command. Whenever you want to release him from the bed, we always go back to him, good place, and then tell him free. If he gets off the bed before you tell him free, it's no, correction, command. You want to say no when he makes the mistake and then follow through with the correction. And in the house, a few times you might want to practice with the leash on, so he's a little bit, you might have to help him back to the bed, and he just would need a little leash assistance. You just pop him back to the place bed. And then always end the exercise on a positive note. So if he makes a little mistake, Try it again and end on a good note for that. Then we have come when called. So whenever you practice come when called, always have a leash on Edgar, especially if you're not in a fenced in area. I recommend a 30 to 50 foot leash. This is just a safety net. If he doesn't come back when you call him, you can use the leash to reel him in. So he's free. This is where he can be free and walk around. If when you call him, Edgar, come. If he does, great. Praise, petting, and reward this command. Again, you want a solid reward history, which means he has a positive association with performing this command with you, so he's more likely to do it over again. And come when called is a really important command. If he doesn't listen to you, it's no, correction, come, and then you're still praising him when he comes to you. You're still the positive thing he comes to. He got the correction out there. Good boy for coming. Free, try again. So you tell him free and he can explore. Off leash eventually, but always have the safety net on when you're practicing in a new environment. Then we have leave it. Leave it in itself is kind of like a correction. So if you drop something on the ground and you don't want him to get it, leave it. If he still shows interest in it, leave it. You don't have to tell him no and then leave it. So those are his commands. One thing I want to talk about with heel real quick is 80 to 95% of the walk should be in the heel position. The other 10 to 15% can be in the free, which is where he can explore and you follow him so he can sniff and go to the bathroom. That is one thing I just forgot to mention in the beginning. But with all of his commands, reward the behaviors you want to see to increase the rate of those behaviors, correct the behaviors you want to see less of, and that will decrease the rate of those behaviors. Have fun, stay consistent, and now we're going to show you Edgar's commands.
Edgar, come! Edgar, come! Edgar, boy! Sit. Good job. Take it. Freeze. Freeze. Try again, go say hi. Me too. Freeze. Try and back up a little. Freeze. Edgar. Good boy. Edgar, come. Good boy. Good boy. Sit. Good job.
Down. Good boy. Good down. Good down. Good job. Good down. Free. Good boy.
Leave it. Good boy. Good boy. Free. You're gonna leave it by yourself? I'll ask you. Place.
Okay, so let's go over the other features of the remote collar. So we know how to turn the collar on. Let's go ahead and turn the collar and the remote off. So to turn them off, it's the same way to turn them on. We're going to touch the two magnets and you're going to see a red light. That's how you turn the collar off. And then for the remote, the on-off button in the back, we're going to push and hold that to turn the collar off. We'll push and hold it to turn the collar back on. So we are using the black S button at level 10. We have the red S button, which is the boost feature. This is for emergencies only. We have not needed to use this yet for Edgar, but you have it in case you need it. This is going to double add 10 to his correction level. The reason you might need this is if you're practicing come when called and he's doing really good, but he gets super distracted by something and he starts running towards the road, you call him to come to you, he's not coming, you've tried correcting him at level 10, he's put himself in a dangerous situation, so you need to up the level to match his adrenaline. So you're going to say no and push the red S button until you get his attention. Level 20 is not very high, but for Edgar, he's a little bit sensitive, so level 20 should work to get his attention back to you. If level 10, if he is starting to ignore the command and not listen to your commands, you can actually increase the level. How we're going to do that is, this is the dial, it is locked in, so we're going to unlock it. And now that the 1D is flashing at the top, we can turn the level up or down to match Edgar. So right now level 10 is working well for him, but if he's not listening and not responding to it and just keeping pushing the boundaries, we can turn it up to 15 or 20. And then once we have it locked where we want it, level 10 is working for him. You put it at the level you want and then you lock it into place. That way you don't accidentally turn it up or down while you're working with Edgar. The T button over here is vibrate. You can use that as a warning in the future for Edgar, so if he's doing a really good job and just messing up a little bit, you can just say, hey, no, and give him a little vibrate warning versus an actual stim correction. So that's something you can use in the future. I would recommend staying with the S button for now, though, until you've established the rules and the boundaries with Edgar. On the back, the on-off button also turns into a flashlight, so if we tap it, it'll activate the flashlight instead of pushing and holding it to turn the remote off. So it's tap, tap, tap. You don't have to worry about the M/C button. That changes it from momentary to continuous. We don't need the continuous for him at this time in training. We use that in the beginning with lower levels. It is rechargeable, so the charging port is on the back. This is waterproof, so make sure this is closed. That way dirt, debris, and water doesn't get in and mess with the electronics. The collar also has the charger. Again, this is waterproof. Whenever you put this on Edgar, he can wear it all day, every day, 10 to 12 hours a day. Take it off at night. Whenever you put it on either this side or this side. I recommend every few days switching it from one side to the other, but again, taking it off at night. He can wear this while swimming. It is waterproof, but you want to make sure you take the collar off once he's done swimming, because if water and moisture builds in under there, it could create a skin infection, which could lead to a hot spot. So you want to make sure that you take the collar off, let the skin dry thoroughly, and then you can put the collar back on and use it. This will last about 2 days on a charge, and it only takes a couple hours to charge. Then we have his prong collar. So how to take this collar off: you can use any of the prongs to take it apart, hold one steady, and then you're going to keep this length parallel, push it through, and just keep pushing through. It's about technique, not strength. And then you're going to squeeze this together to put the collar back on. So again, hold one steady, push through, and then squeeze it together to put it back on him. In the box, we have the original strap that the collar came with. I like the bungee strap because it is quick and easy to put on and take off, and it has a bungee to give a little bit of give so it doesn't get too tight on him. Again, the collar should fit snug like a watch so it doesn't move around, and the contact points make good connection to his skin so he can feel the collar. The charger can charge both the collar and the remote at the same time. And then we have these little extenders. So I have put the longer extenders on because he does have really long hair, so this helps weave through the hair. And this is the little tool to change him out if you ever get a haircut for him, but you don't really have to change him to the short prongs, but you can if you want to. And then at the bottom here, we have the instruction manual that goes over all the buttons in greater detail. This does have a 2-year full warranty, so if anything happens to the collar, you can get it replaced within 2 years, and this is the company information to do so. So those are his commands. Practice often, stay consistent, reward the behaviors you want to keep seeing to increase the rate of those behaviors, and then use these tools to correct the unwanted behaviors to decrease the rate of those behaviors. Have fun, stay consistent, and let us know if you have any questions.